one more in a long series of actions that the PSU Student Union has helped to organize, in part against campus militarization, in part against raising tuitions and fees, in part against the lack of accountability for white supremacist and patriarchic institutions on this campus and across the country. Today we are going to be addressing a number of topics, shouting out some solidarity to the University of Missouri, which has been one of the most successful struggles. Discussing a number of things on this own campus, including the exploitation of staff and student workers, the exploitation of faculty, and the ongoing attack on student rights and safety here by our own administration. Two wonderful people working with the Student Union are going to be emceeing this event, Nia and Caitlin, and they will be introducing some speakers as they come up. We will be here for a while to rally around a number of speakers, and then we will be going on a march through the downtown. So please continue to hang out and get to know your neighbors and see where we are at the student struggle. It's an international struggle. The fight is in India. The fight is in South Africa. The fight is in Britain. We're just one front in a large international struggle for student rights, faculty rights, and a democratic university. Now to kick it over to Nia and Caitlin.
Hello. Our first speaker for today is Layla from ASCSU. How are you? Thank you. Give your applause to Layla. How's it going?
Today, we're here as Students United, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Associated Students of Portland State University, the Oregon Student Association, and as a very grumpy student who has a lot of student debt already. Today we're united against the dollar that oppresses us and the business model which higher education has become. Together our voices are coming to show the administration what student power looks like. When the administration sees student power, they know who's holding them accountable. That's us. Don't forget that. We see examples of student power all across the country, all across the world, but today especially we are seeing student power and the courageous demonstrations of the students at the University of Missouri. ASCSU and the Oregon Student Association stand in solidarity with the black students and all students of color who have been targeted and victimized by their white peers and the administration that would rather silence them than fight the white terrorism on their campuses.
You recording?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Today we're here to march united for a just world, to oppose systemic racism and all other forms of oppression, and to demand free education, affordable student worker wages, and forgiveness of all student debt nationally. We will not stop this fight until our demands are met.
Okay, next we have Andrea from Jobs with Justice.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Again, my name is Andrea Lemoyne. I'm with Jobs with Justice here in Portland. We're here in support of all the students. And I want to let you guys know this is very personal for me. I think that people tend to think of millennials and young people having student loans. I have been fighting student loans a long time. I'm a lot older than most of you. I'm 38 years old. And a lot of Gen Xers also share the same issue. We have been dealing with Sallie Mae and Navient for years. They constantly sell your loans from one country to the next, right?
Yeah.
Sell you off your loans. Yeah, exactly. But as a black woman, I only make, what, like 75 cents on the dollar compared to a white man. I'm always going to April. It's so hard for me to pay off my student loans. So we are here to help support you guys. Because education is free. And also to help raise minimum wage to 15 for all people, for workers here in the factory, for your guys' future, for all of our future. Because if we can't live on a living wage, you're going Thank you so much. Keep up the good fight. Know that Jobs with Justice is here to support all of your efforts. Thank you. So that was Andrea from Jobs with Justice. Next we have Olivia. That's going to speak. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hey all, my name is Olivia Pace. I'm with the Portland State University Student Union. We're organizing this march today. And before I start, we need to talk about the fact that there are students in this country right now who are currently battling white supremacy in a ridiculous way in order to gain their education, having to choose their life or their education, and we need to honor those students and recognize those students today.
Yeah.
So please cheer for the students in Mississippi who are fighting for on their campus right now. The implications of that, this is what happens when black students are successful in dismantling white supremacist systems on their campus. Tim Wolf resigned, and that night the KKK comes to campus. 49ers! Not at all. This is not okay. Now I want to talk about the fact that most of us, I assume, got our education before college in this country and have been told for years and years and years that the only venue to be truly successful in America is to gain a college education, which may or may not be true. But let's talk about how if that's the key to a successful life, is this education, you can't hide the fucking key. If that's the key, then why are you criminally dead?
Yeah.
I have 3 parents who are going to die with student debt, who will never pay it off. And when you fill out your little FAFSA form, it takes into account your if you get child support, how much money you make, how much money your parents make, but it doesn't take into account your student loans. This institution right now is meant to cripple you. It's meant to take everything that you have and then never compensate you for it.
Yeah.
We need to battle that system. If this is the key, if this is it, then it is a right. If the only way to be successful in this country is through college education, not education is a right. And we have to mobilize until we gain that right, because nobody else is going to do it for us. Many people will tell you that the polite ways, the polite venues to getting that right, talking to the board, going to meetings, sitting there, docile and not resisting in any way, will get you somewhere. I promise you it won't. As somebody who has, and for the people here, like me, who have contacted the administration many times to have personal conversations with them, they really don't care about you. They don't care, but they care about the money that you give them, the money that you don't even have. When you pay your thousands and thousands of dollars each year that you don't even have, they don't care about that. All they care about is the profit. The only way that we can unlock the key to a successful life is to mobilize, is to be here today. We need to show them what we can do. Thank you, thank you.
Next we have Sam. Just to give you some background information, they were at PCC and they were silenced by the administration. They were pushed off the campus, so they decided to come here instead. So let's give a round of hands to Sam.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam and I'm a student at PCC Cascade campus. And today about a dozen of us tried to go out and march and have an action. And there were a few campus safety officers who said, no, you need to sign a form to have the rights to your free speech. You need to make an appointment and we will give you a time that you are allowed to speak your mind. So we said, am I allowed to say fuck? Fuck that. And we marched anyway, and we had about 4 or 5 deans out there threatening to suspend us and shut us down for protesting what we feel are problems on our campus. So we are not given our rights as students and Americans to petition our government for a redress of grievances, and that's not fair. We're students, we're citizens, we have the same rights as everyone else, and we should be allowed to be out here and speak our minds.
United for Palestinian Equal Rights, if you don't know us. And I have to say, we have had some awesome, amazing leadership this year from 3 amazing Palestinian women who deal with campus repression. They can't be here because they're drowning in student debt and they have to work in their class right now. So I want to give a shout out to Layla, Dana, and Sarah A. We love you. We wish you were here. But actually, I'm going to speak, normally I speak on behalf of Super, but today I'm speaking out about something that is much more personal for me, and that is being a single-parent, low-income student for the past 5 years here at PSU. This is a struggle that rarely gets mentioned when we talk about rising tuition and the privatization of public universities. And yet, nationwide, there are over 2 million single-parent students struggling to balance parenting, work, college studies, and drowning debt. In addition to this pressure, campus childcare has been on the decline nationwide. So what are you supposed to do? And don't tell me to get the childcare tax credit, because that ain't shit. So in the past 10 years, public institutions, their tuition rose by over 42%. That is a shame. But household and student incomes haven't risen, and have stagnated and declined, which is why the 5 for 15 is so